Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Pints and Ports. Today, I just have Julian with us, no Joe this week, but we're going to have a look, sort of a brain blaze style topic, I guess. Things about the internet and various technology that people believe to be true that are not. Do you want to say hi, Julian?
Hello. We do this every single time. It's like going to a buddy's house and greeting their parents like the first 2 times. After that, it's just you just walk in the house. So
Yeah, fair enough. This is Julian. You know Julian. Oh, and I know I did a video about this, but thank you again to everybody for helping me get to 2035 subscribers now, I believe, which is most awesome. There will be a live stream within the next 2 weeks. I just need decent streaming internet in my cave.
You barely have decent enough internet for these calls.
I know. But there is a plan. There is a plan. The people upstairs who lent me their electricity, we've agreed an internet sharing plan. So all I need to do now is get to their router and install power line adapters. I've got a router set up. It's already programmed with the SSID and security codes from my network at home. So as soon as it's ready, I just need to bring all my crap here and it will just work. That's the theory anyway.
Have you tested their internet?
I plugged it into my router at home and it worked. So
wait, what?
Do you mean
you plugged their internet into your router at home?
No, I plugged the router that I've programmed with all my information. I hooked it up to my internet just to check it worked. But yeah, their internet's fast enough. I've done a speed test up in their office and it's like 400 down, 30
peasant
up.
Internet.
Yeah,
if it's not a gigabit either way,
that's what you get.
Peasantry.
No, I said you don't get anything close to that speed-wise.
Oh, no?
Do you?
You don't get a gigabit out there?
I do at my house. I was saying you don't. Do you?
Yeah, no, I have a gigabit. It's just not symmetrical. It's a gig down.
You and Lorelai have gone through some crap to get videos up for me. And you drove all over the place to upload one of them when you had that internet outage where you Lorelai the other day edited the game video, the Blind Legend game. She edited that whilst driving around the country with her family, trying to Dropbox it from do different bits of the Dropbox upload from different hotel Wi-Fi's all over the place.
See how hard you have your editors working, Dave?
I know.
God, any worse and you'd just be Simon.
I don't know what Simon's like with the editor. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what Simon's like with the editors, but the writers he's pretty chill. Sometimes I wish he'd be a bit more like, oh, come on, get it done.
I figure, I mean, it's in his personality, but I just think it's the exact same thing. I don't think he treats us any differently. It's just, well, you know your job, just do it and send me an invoice.
Yeah, I sometimes wish he'd be a bit more deadline-y, because I work better if I know I've got to get something done. Like sometimes he'll reach out to me and say, oh, can you do this on a quick turnaround? And I can sit down and blaze out 5,000-6,000 words over a 24-hour period, which is financially awesome. But sometimes just to do a brain blaze, I'm like,
yeah, in a day. It's a good turnaround for some cash.
Oh, yeah. What's the last big one I did? When Henry Kissinger died, we wanted a quick turnaround for that for War of Graphics, which I don't think was really worth it. I don't think it ever broke 100,000. I'm not sure, but yeah, that was an all-nighter.
Wait, what channel was that on?
War of Graphics.
No, it's not War of Graphics anymore. It's rebranded.
Oh, it's yeah.
Warfronts.
I can't remember what it's called. Warfronts. That's it. I think it's Evan who writes for most of the stuff over there. He's good. He's really good.
Okay, so basically, not urban legends, but like common misconceptions or just absolutely untrue things on the internet?
Yeah, well, Joe sent us one over. If you guys haven't watched, well, you can't have watched the episode 2 because it's not out yet. If you watch this somehow without having watched episode 2, we had another guest on last week.
No.
But
3 weeks ago. Oh,
yeah, no, 3 weeks ago. In episode 2,
yeah.
there were 3 of us. In episode 3, there were 2 of us. But he sent this one in. He's in America at the moment, I believe. And
Oh, hi, Joe. Welcome to my home.
Oh no, he's not in your basement, is he?
I have basements in California.
Yeah, his suggestion was that people believe that incognito mode is a thing. And I know people do believe this.
I mean, it's a thing in terms of a product.
Well, it's something you can click
feature,
on.
But it's not what they think it is. So, okay, I'm curious. I'm actually curious because, I mean, we know, but when someone told you or when you found out what incognito mode supposedly does, what did you think it did? It's a poorly worded sentence, but I think you understand me.
I remember the first adverts for it on the telly, and it was great because I think it was a proper actual television ad, so it would have been a long time ago, with a guy claiming to be looking for Christmas presents and using in private browsing or incognito mode to not get caught looking for the presents. And I'm like, yeah, that's not what this is going to be used for. But I assumed straight from the beginning that all it did was not create a populated history menu.
Okay. See, when I first heard about it, I thought it was a built-in VPN that didn't cache anything, that also didn't cache anything that you were doing. So, you know, manually log into everything and all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, it's not that.
Well, it's not a built-in VPN, but it doesn't cache a lot of things. But Chrome's inspect incognito mode definitely it used to, on the record, publicly record everything. you just didn't have a history bar anymore to show it.
Yeah, that's what I assumed it was when I first heard about it. I was like, that's still going somewhere. It's just the casual user isn't going to be able to jump on the computer after you and go, this is what so-and-so was just Googling then.
I mean, you are right. You were right. Your first impressions were right. But yeah, just where that info goes is a little bit eh. But man, like, I like incognito mode for some things, logging on to my bank stuff, and not because I think it's secure, but because, like, when you with the browser that I use, in the default mode, it'll always ask you to save a phone number, a password, your email, and shit like that, right? It'll always ask you. Private doesn't. So I do that just for the convenience of not having to, like, always in the middle of typing my shit in or having pressed enter, move my mouse over to click no.
See?
Yeah, that's literally why I like using it.
See, I use banking apps on my phone, and I just look at the thing and it goes, yeah, that's you. I'm happy with that. I have so little money anyway, it's not a huge deal. But I always thought that if someone hacked my bank account, they'd be really upset. They'd be like, oh,
I did all this.
All this effort, and there's like,
buddy,
£27 in there.
What am I gonna do with this? Like, get a number 2 at Taco Bell? Like, it took me more to get in here.
Yeah.
Oh man, did you have any ideas for this topic?
I did, and now I can't remember them, and I don't write stuff down. So if you've got one, I'll try and remember some of the ones that I had.
There's a common PC building kind of myth that folks tend to believe in, and that's, I don't know if, I guess you could say that it's a thing. For the longest time, like, I think most folks are really, really put off because they think building a PC is really intricate work.
It's just
And
modular.
that's a big misconception. I'm just like, it is not. Like, for anyone that's ever heard it's like building with Legos, it literally is. You have to be careful. Like, you know, you don't want to like damage your components. Like, they're not plastic bricks, but you look at it, you find out where the thing goes, and you shove it in there. That's
You don't
basically it.
you don't even have to be as careful as you used to. It's not like connecting the old IDE cables. You had to be
Oh,
careful with that shit.
oh my god! Like, for the folks, I think it's like really hard to build a computer and whatnot. For the longest time, my roommate and I, for our home theater PC, because one of the pins inside the connector for the power button broke, and we were just too lazy to like grab a wire and just twist that shit on there. We jumped the computer. What we basically turned the computer on with a fucking spoon. We just kept the spoon on top of the PC. Yeah, kept the side panel off. We just like, you want to watch some TV? Yeah. I just grab the spoon, just like knock it in there, and it'll just turn on. Because all you like, a power button's a switch, right? Like, electricity's there or electricity's not. And the way that you can tell if there's electricity there is by connecting two things. That's what a switch does.
Yeah.
It disconnects like the flow of power. So it's literally just like two teeny little pins that go up like this. You just touch a piece of metal that goes boom. There it is. That's how hard PCs are.
The van we used to have when I was in the band, we had an old transit van for a long time, and it had been broken into so many times and stolen so many times that the ignition barrel was just shot to fuck. So you could just put anything in and turn it, and you didn't need the key. Well, I don't think we even knew where the keys were. Okay. Yeah, you used to just stick a teaspoon handle into the ignition key and just turn the cylinder around until it triggered the starter motor.
I mean, some things are just so simple, and the technology for it is so archaic that no one really believes that so many things are just insecure, like locks in general. Like physical locks. Like, do you know who McNally official is?
No.
He's basically like the lockpicking lawyer.
I know the lockpicking lawyer and Bosnian Bill.
Yeah.
I know those guys.
McNally's, the dude is really funny. If you've ever come across a short for some reason, because you don't watch shorts.
I hate shorts.
Yeah. It's the videos that start off with a guy with like a somewhat low voice going, "You are using a master lock model, blah, 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 blah. You can unlock it with," and typically it's the same model of lock. All you do is just like smash the two together while giving some tension, and it'll just open. Because, like the technology for a lock, it's just springs. Springs and pins. Yeah, you align the pins and that's now. It. Oh my god. Like, unless the magnet can somehow send encoded information.
Joe, I went to his house for a barbecue a couple of years ago, and he'd got this padlock on an outside storage thing. And it had like a little tiny magnet that pulled another secret pin and all this. And he went to meet a couple of people from the train station, and I was in just like having a beer in his back garden, and I had a few bits in my pocket, like a Swiss Army knife and one of the like pens that I've shown on the channel before and stuff like that. And I was like, I wonder if I can get this open before he gets. I wonder if I can get this open before he gets back. Just sat there, opened it, and locked it again and put it on top of the box. And when he came back, I was like, oh yeah, this fell off.
Okay, let's move to another topic. I had a topic in mind, and then I was listening to your story and I lost it.
Working on MacBooks is hard comparatively. Like
are you saying this is a misconception?
No, I'm saying this is real. If you had to, comparatively difficult, if you wanted to change, say, the hard drive in a M3 MacBook or a PC, which you're going to choose?
PC.
Yeah.
Because that shit is soldered in there.
Yeah.
See, I thought you were saying like it's a misconception. I'm like,
No.
it's. I mean, older Macs. Well, not even that old, much older. Like, oh my god, it's like 10 years ago now, 2013. Um, like iteratively, MacBooks have gotten harder and harder and harder. But it used to be just tedious because of how Apple designs their components, and it's very, very, very hard. Like, it's, I wouldn't necessarily say it's hard. I would say that it's fucking tedious.
Annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, like what would normally take like a couple of clips or like a couple of screws, you have to go through like 12 screws, and they're like interchanging T4, T5 security screws. My old, I was a, yeah, my old 2018, just like service it because, you know, it's a laptop. It's going to collect a lot of dust because those tiny little fans are constantly going. And you always have it in places
the
that
MacBook Air,
have a lot of lint and dust. Like to clean that fucker out, it would be like an hour and a half, easy.
There's no little fans in the MacBook Air.
I think in the M4s they said they're fans now.
Are there? I've still got the M1. My screen is fucked, as I think I sent you a picture, didn't I?
Yeah, that was great.
Oh yeah, because I did. I took a picture. I'll find it and I'll chuck it in the. I'll send it to you and you can chuck it up in the video or something. But the description from Seeing AI, or sorry, from Be My Eyes, it just describes in intricate detail my fucked screen, and I send it to Julie and just says, "Isn't AI great?"
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, here's a common misconception, and I think we've actually touched on this, but like AI and the meaning of AI, what folks think it does and what it actually does.
Yeah, it isn't AI. They're not coming for us yet.
It's not artificial intelligence the way that we perceive it to be, like sentient, thinking, evolving. I don't know if that's the right adjective, but or verb. But it's not like what we see in movies. It's nowhere near it right now. And I
It does a good
like,
job of pretending.
yeah, well, good is very subjective here.
Yeah, for sure. But like, unless you're into it, like into finding out how stuff works, then I reckon probably 70% of the people who use ChatGPT would be like, "Yep, that's legit. That's real." Because people don't care. Do you disagree? You think the average computer user gets that AI isn't AI yet?
Oh no, I completely agree with you. I'm just saying, like, I understand the why folks think it, and it's a really easy solve, but it's hard because of how most humans are. Like when we see a thing, we don't generally, okay, so you never know what you don't know, right? Like that's actually kind of why I hate the phrase common sense, because the word common in and of itself is very poorly understood, because common sense is typically like it's sociological factors, your upbringing, your current surrounding, like it's a lot, like communities you're involved in. I hate the term common sense. Humans as a whole, like when we see something working, we don't really like look for the details. Like I'm trying to externalize what I internalize. and it's difficult when you don't know the words to do it. Kind of like how magic works, right? Magicians are great at little details because they're curious and they're constantly poking and prodding at things. They're like engineers. I love magicians because when you know the secret, it breaks things, but you didn't think of that fucking secret because you didn't think to look. Magicians do think to look.
Yeah, there was a guy who used to come into one of the pubs we ran, and he was really, really good sleight of hand and card tricks and stuff. And he used to do this thing where he'd lay a spoon on the palm of his hand and then like wave his hand over the top of the spoon, and it would bend upwards. And people go absolutely mad for that shit. And eventually, I had a physical puzzle, which is a 10-piece puzzle that you have to put together into a perfect square. That a friend of mine, he passed away, but he made this puzzle, and I gave it to this guy Colin to like figure this out. Colin was the magician guy, and I said, take it away with you, for take it away for the week. I'll see you next Tuesday. See if you can figure it out. And he couldn't do it. And in the end, he swapped the secret of how to do the puzzle for the spoon bending trick. And when I found out how to do it, I was like, oh, fuck's sake, that's awful. But I still do it now occasionally. And people, as long as you do it right, it blows people away. And it's so simple.
I used to be a magician for a certain amount of time. And people who like, once they find out the secret and it breaks the magic for them, are the type of people that are always wowed by magic. Folks that are really passionate about magic know the secret, and it makes it even more interesting. Because it's a factor of like, one, how did you even think to do it like this? And obviously know humans enough to know that's not something that they're looking at or looking for or thinking about. It's good, but see, that's kind of also the same thing about like AI. You see it kind of work and you're like, oh, it is Skynet. No. No. The technology behind it is, the way a computer works is by sending signals. Thing goes on, thing goes off. Thing on means on, thing off means off. A multitude of on-offs will result in a representation of something. Hence, we have binary code. All computers run off of thing on, thing off. All of them. Code manipulates that. They're learning in the sense of they'll take in information and refine it. They'll refine relationships and identify relationships, but that's it. That's why, like, no matter how good the chatbot you're using is, you can still confuse it and get it to hallucinate. Because you know why? It's never a live update. It has to be updated by another learning model. That's a different iteration of it. That's why chatbots like ChatGPT have versioning. It's not learning.
Set up a separate what is it called? You could set them up within ChatGPT and feed it only certain information. Well, I'll tell you what I did with it and why it's helpful. Is I uploaded all my Brainblaze scripts into it, and now when I go, oh, when did I write about that already? Or I'm sure I've told this story before. I just ask it and it goes, yeah, you did, there.
So it already took the model that you have, which is ChatGPT's model, and yeah, you just fine-tuned it. You fed it a certain subset of information that it can use to compare against what it currently has, and that's it.
It's just an aside. It's and I also told it to cut all the crap out. I don't want it to be asking me about my day. I just want it to, like how Google used to be. You ask it something and then it would just give you an answer like that.
Yeah, see, the internet is worse now because of generative algorithms.
For sure. I use Google a lot. and it's gone downhill so much in the past 4 or 5 months. It's fucking horrendous
Oh
now.
yeah. Sometimes you have to click on number 2 of pages to find a result.
I know.
When it used to be like, oh, you are desperate now, sir.
I think I got down to page 4 the other day. Actually, we've talked about it, and I guess I don't know. I don't think anybody. But no, people did believe it.
Believe in what? Time travel?
Believe in John Titor.
Oh yeah. Because John Titor it was an internet phenomenon, man. Like, I love that story so much. Like, I used to nerd out over, his little military insignia and like the blurry ass pictures that we had. It was great.
I love that the whole thing started from fax messages.
Yeah. It's kind of weird, right? Because like when you think about a time traveler or just time travel stories, people never really think like if this were possible somehow in some way, why are they using like the most archaic tech? And why do these stories evolve to use the current tech of the time each time? Like there's nothing ever like huge. The only thing that's huge about it is their time travel device. Like John Titor used fax.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, it's possible that
I'm pretty sure. God.
It's possible that he only used fax because that's the only way he could get on Coast to Coast AM.
I mean,
that's where it started on
if he has
Art
a
Bell's
device,
show, didn't it?
if he had a device where when you shoot a laser pointer out and the light coming from the laser curved, I'm pretty sure he can pirate into a radio station because that technology is readily available. The technology to boost that signal from wherever the shit he's at might not be. But if he's from the future, it could be. All I'm saying, lasers. Like, oh my God. There was I don't know if you found this one. There was a story of a guy. I think it was actually covered in DTU too, but I remember reading this a long time ago. But he was found like in a hospital. His name didn't really check out or anything. He said he was from the future, and he said that he was from a place that just didn't exist. It started with a T, I think.
Yeah,
wherever he's from.
Tyrannon. Yeah,
something like that. There's
he turned up.
The letters that you used are involved in that name, I recall.
Yeah. He turned up in an airport, and the
airport.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to put that one in because I've included the one about the guy from Kiev, and it's a similar story.
Wait, what's the story about a guy from Kiev?
Basically, the police are called to deal with a guy who's confused. They turn up and ask him for ID and stuff. It's 2006, and he's got like a 1950s issue Soviet passport and a camera from that time and the clothes and stuff. And he thinks it's still 1958. So they take him in, and they end up getting his camera film developed by a camera historian or some shit, and it's all pictures of Kiev from back then. And then he goes into the room he's staying in and just completely disappears.
Oh yeah, so it is exactly like that story. Man, I would actually think that like if time travel were possible and the implications behind it, that technology would not be used for the things that it was used for in all of these stories.
They were going on holiday in the past and shit. I don't know. I'd probably do that.
There was a TV show about that. It's not going on holiday, but have you heard of this TV show? forgot what it was called. I don't think it lasted long. And the premise is so stupid, it's funny. In the future, the Earth is decimated. And the only way for the human race to survive is to time travel the fuck out of the future and go into prehistoric past to set up settlements.
I suppose there's space and resources, you know.
Look, if you have the technology to displace yourself in both time and space, you have the technology to teleport somewhere.
Yeah, I suppose.
So why the shit would you go into the past where there are dinosaurs and a completely different environment that's going to eventually affect the future? Right? I don't know. It was dumb to
Also,
me.
unbreathable atmosphere.
Yep. Hey, that's a common misconception. The Earth has changed. You can't time travel into like dinosaur eras and expect to like be I.
You'd die of oxygen poisoning quite quickly.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I mean, amongst other things, like I don't know, we don't know what the biomes were like back then or what type of bacteria were around. Like our bodies have evolved with time through genetic mutation that's completely random. We are still alive. That's evolution. You go backward, you don't know what's there that's going to fuck you up on a microscopic level or smaller.
Yeah, it's like War of the Worlds. Didn't work out well for those Martians, did it?
Okay, look,
Killed by the common cold.
if you had the technology to go that far, you don't have the technology to scan it.
I think a lot of the problem people have is they don't understand how the speed of light works. It takes information. It takes light 8 minutes to get from the sun to here. Like, if you're scanning something 10 light years away, it's going to take 20 light years before you get anything back if it works in the way that people think it does through sci-fi.
Ooh, I have a good one. A misconception that people always think that it could be real, but if it works in that way, it will never be real.
Go on.
Stopping time. How would you think stopping time would work?
I don't know. I guess I haven't really thought about it, but as far as I understand it, the most common sci-fi way is sort of is projecting a bubble of non-time, if you will, and then everything happens outside that, but not inside. But I have no idea how. Well, no, of course it wouldn't.
The observable universe, the world, everything you know about how things work needs light, for one, to observe it, and time. All of these things have particles. If you stop time, things stop moving. That means light particles stop moving. Cells stop moving. Everything stops moving. So, if you were successful in freezing time for everything but you would be in utter darkness and you couldn't breathe.
Or move or anything.
And that's just the basic version of it. That's like the stupid high level overview of why time stopping will never work. Like comic books try to explain like Barry Allen or J. Garrick, whatever speedster. Yeah, no, that's not grounded in physics. That'll never work.
It's okay.
But this is why science is awesome. And this is why comic books are awesome. Because you can dream up of an idea and then just have it thoroughly disproven. Because someone wanted to find out whether or not it works. Or if it could.
Pretty annoying if it's been your life's work, though. Just have some internet nerds crap all over it after a day.
I mean, a lot of things are a lot of people's life's works. You could also say that your life's work, if you were on the science side of things and finding out that it wasn't possible, that in and of itself is a significant find. Like disproving something is just as important as proving something. Or is that just me?
Yeah, I guess because otherwise we'd still be nothing would have ever moved on. Like no scientific anything. Someone would have gone, "This is how we think this works." God did it, and then everybody would have been like, "Okay, yeah, cool." If nobody bothered to disprove anything, we'd still be there, wouldn't we?
Exactly. Or if you spent the entirety of your life trying to prove time travel, the methods it would take, the science, the mathematics, the physics that it would take to prove that it's not real and that it is impossible is important. There's a lot of science there to prove it.
But time travel is
my
possible.
diatribe.
Time travel is possible.
Well, you know what you know exactly what I mean.
Yeah, of course, but you know, it's an indisputable fact that traveling forwards in time is possible.
Yes, we are currently doing it now.
Yes.
The present doesn't exist because we are constantly moving.
And as we've already conclusively proven, you can't stop time. So when people say live in the present, that's not a thing.
Actually, here's a critical thought. Did I reference science to say that we cannot stop time? Because it could just mean that if you stop time, you would just be dead immediately. So for all we know, many people have stopped time. They're just not around to tell us the story.
Yeah, just a point.
See, critical factors in these things. So what else can you think of that's a common science or techie or whatever misconception? Because like I'm on the train of like fucking sci-fi right now. And we don't want to do an episode of science fiction. Although that was like one of my most favorite fucking like channels of Simon's.
Yeah, there's stuff that's just never went out as well. That's a shame.
Wait, what?
There was stuff that was written for that never went out.
You're kidding. No.
Somewhere there's just a board sitting with stuff in it. I'll see if it's still there. I'll see if it's still there. I'll pull it for you.
That's so sad to me. I love that show, dude. I genuinely love that show.
Yeah, I wrote a couple. I
know you did.
Cloning humans, learning kung fu like in the Matrix. That was fun, actually. Okay. I liked it because it was like a cross between Brain Blaze and like all the other channels, basically. It got across scientific-ish information, but it wasn't too serious about itself. I liked it. That was good.
Okay, so Simon's presentation of it is like Into the Shadows, but the visual the visual representation or the content, the audio, and the way the script is written is very much a mixture of like Info Channel meets Brain Blaze. Because like, do you hear it? Like the differences in Simon's voice between different channels?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, right. So like the cold read channels like Decoding the Unknown, Kaz Krim, or Brain Blaze, he's Fact Boy. But on the other channels, he has the fact presenter persona, where his voice gets a bit more high pitched. He's a lot more nasally. He's using a little bit more of the Queen's English.
Yeah. I like sometimes I've written a few side projects recently, and I try and throw in a few little bits just to try and break him out of that a little bit, and it usually works. It's like he'll lose character for a second, and you're like, I got you.
Oh my god, we were just talking about this slightly last night in Kevin's server, but do you ever remember, I think it was a side projects on Jesus where he spent like, I want to say more than half of the script just laughing and giggling?
No.
Yeah, so it was he ended up doing a blaze on it because it was so funny. But I think it was a skip that Kevin had written, and it was like insane things that religion has done or like that Jesus had supposedly done or some shit like that. And it was for side projects, and he just like couldn't stop laughing on his side projects. So he ended up not repurposing, but making a Brain Blaze version of it.
one of my favorite Brain Blaze episodes of all time is one of Danny's, and it's like insane Bible stories.
That was it.
Is that the one?
Yeah. No, it definitely is. It
Because there's a
1000%
huge
is.
introduction, introduction of like Danny meeting St. Peter and everything. It's absolutely brilliant. And Danny wrote a part 2 for it. And Simon recorded it, but he was ill, and it never went out. But Danny sent me the script, and it's just as good. I mean, he should really do it one day.
It never went out. Wait, you said it was recorded?
No. Yeah, he recorded it, but he wasn't happy with how it came out. He was feeling really rough, and it was like the last one of the day, and he put it up to re-record, and he hasn't as of yet. But this was a few years ago. I might prod him about it. I'll be like, hey, you should record this again.
I am so sad. I am thoroughly sad. You have no idea that there was a part 2 to this that we didn't know about. What were we talking about before we got here?
I don't know. See, that's the beauty of this. It doesn't matter. The titles are only a guideline at best. I think we need the. I don't know. People in the comments, what do you think? I think we need the titles because it gets us going, but I don't think it really matters where we go.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this: the idea behind Ports and Pints was that we'd drink and we talk about tech shit.
Yeah,
and then we would meander a little bit.
I'd be the first to admit that the meandering has become more of a thing, but you know, people certainly liked it. People liked the first one, and how's the second one coming along?
The second one is going along okay, actually. I was editing it on the plane finally. And I found out that I fucked up during recording. When I was recording, you know, the last little like, and I might cut this part out, but just so you know, like the last like half hour where your camera, all your gear shut off.
Yeah.
So I got you. I recorded you. But I forgot to put you and Joe not only on separate channels for voice, but myself as well. So
I
have
just got like
3 channels of audio. No. And I have 3 channels of audio. Channel. The 3 of us are on all of them.
That's gonna be interesting.
So I spent the entire plane ride separating the audio. Monday, when I thought I had time, I was going to finally put it together so I could do a rough cut, and that didn't work out. So I tried yesterday. And well, we know what happened yesterday.
Yes.
So tonight I'm going to try my hardest to get it completely, at least roughly done for tomorrow, if not Friday for sure. If that's okay.
Yeah. Like, I've always said, and to you and Laura, like, you're doing this comes last, you know. There are many more important things you guys need to be doing than.
But sir, it's been an hour and a half for you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say,
like, don't you need to go get some food?
I'm gonna have to go and pick up some Chinese food. So yeah, it's been a different one. Well, it hasn't been different. We've chatted and meandered like we normally do, but we've covered different topics. So it's a win.
I think all we've done is meandered.
Well, thanks again for watching episode 3. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Buy Me a Coffee page, all that good stuff. And we shall see you whenever we shoot the next one.
Bye.